Oh no, my child's a theist. Now what do I do? Okay, well, first of all, we gotta get him into a secular school. Gotta get him away from that religious stuff. We gotta, expose them to other religions and be like, look, all these other people think that they're right. We want to make sure that they are decoctrinated, like instead of indoctrinated, it's undoctrinated, I guess. Dedoctrinated? I don't know what it is, but we gotta do that. We gotta just, yell at them that there's no God over and over again. That will convince them that there isn't. We gotta do something. This is terrible.
I asked a question on my Facebook page not long ago that was, you raised your child in a Christian home, but now they say they're atheists. What happened? I got hundreds of responses from Christian parents with broken hearts explaining their journey. Are you one of them? Or are you still raising your kids but wondering how you can prevent this from happening to them? In this video, I'm going to cover 3 basic areas on this topic. The first is the problem that we're facing. Second is reasons why they leave the faith. And third, prayer points for parents finding themselves in this situation. Let's explore this together.
Okay, the first problem that you're facing is reality. I know it's difficult to overcome reality, but that's really the problem that theism, broadly speaking, has been facing forever. Is basic reality. So that's the problem you're facing. So reasons why people leave the faith. Well, there's all sorts of possible reasons, but mainly it's a faith. It's not a fact. It's not something based on anything except for just belief. So that might be a good reason to leave it because there's nothing of substance to it. And how to think really hard in your head, wishful thoughts that you hope will then influence the universe is your third thing. Because apparently your God can hear your thoughts when you direct it at the God. I guess it could hear your thoughts at all times, so why wouldn't every time you think be actually prayer? But, it's like you have to write a letter. It's like, Dear God, it's me again. How you doing? And then you have to be like, and then you have to sign it at the end. You have in Jesus' name, amen. Like you're signing a letter or something. It's all so formal, and you maybe have to fold your hands and close your eyes, bow your head, or be on your knees, or maybe you put your hands together in the little pray symbol thingy. You have to. It's a ritual. Now, speaking out loud or thinking peaceful, calming thoughts is going to be beneficial to you. It's not going to change anything else in reality. If somebody hears what you're saying, they might do something based on what they hear, but why not just say, hey, I need help with this? This is a crisis that isn't a crisis. This is a fear of losing your religion because at some level you recognize that the more people stop believing in this, the less likely your religion is going to continue to exist because it requires people to believe in it. God stops existing when people stop believing in it. That's why gods of history that are no longer really worshipped aren't considered serious anymore. Like, we don't need to debate those gods. They're dead. Nobody cares about them. And there's who knows how many countless gods that have faded into history and are completely forgotten about because people stopped believing and moved on to something else. But, let's talk about how to prevent all of this because, it's scary that your child is going to go to hell because they didn't believe in the right thing. I think that would be pretty scary.
Raising a child in a Christian home is no guarantee that they will stay in the faith throughout their lives. Dr. James Dobson of Focus on the Family said, The greatest illusion is to suppose that children will become devout Christians simply because their parents have been.
So I'd love to respond to you, but that music is not loud enough. It needs to be way louder, so I can't possibly hope to hear what you're saying. So I can't possibly respond to you. So please turn the volume on the music up more next time.
So what happens that causes children, turn teens and adults to walk away from their faith? And too many people's knee-jerk reaction is just to blame the parents, that they weren't diligent enough, they didn't do enough, they didn't love their kids enough, they should have homeschooled their kids.
I tell you, Indoctrination 101, homeschool your kids or send them to a Christian school. It's the only way to make sure that they stay away from that evil science and evolutionism and Darwinism and all that stuff about other religions and facts, because you don't want to expose them to reality. You got to keep them inside that bubble. But if it's not the parents' fault, then obviously it's the kids' fault. But you know whose fault it can't be? It can't be the omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent God that actually wants a relationship with human beings. I mean, it's silly to think that God would just pop in every now and again to say, "Hi, I really exist," to the kids so that they would not lose their faith. Although I guess then they wouldn't be able to have faith because they'd have proof that God existed at some level. But I think that you could still make the case that even if God showed up and said hi, that still, because they can't verify that event actually happened, would take some faith. And then
one of the responses on my Facebook page was from a woman who's now a minister. She wrote, "I was raised in a Christian home, but I rebelled as soon as I could for no particular reason other than I just wanted to. It wasn't my mom's fault or my precious granny who took me to church."
Well, the fact of the matter is, church is fucking boring. Kids know this, adults know this, but it's boring. And some churches are less boring than others, but ultimately they're just concerts being produced by people who really shouldn't be producing concerts. The kids need a youth group. They need kids their own age. They need activities to do. They need to be able to run around and have fun. If you don't have that, the kids are not going to put up with sitting there in church, listening to boring sermons. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear, a quick, snappy, okay, here's one thing from the Bible, boom, done. Okay, now let's do our activity and color or paint or, run around and do tag or something interesting that kids like to do, and then give them some snacks and, But, of course, what's really important is that you throw your kids to perfect strangers, trust absolutely that they will be fine behind closed doors while you're busy worshiping a unproven, unseeable, untestable God. I mean, why would you think that anything inappropriate would be going on with these strangers? You gotta have faith in other people in your church, after all, right? What's that? It was a tangent that I went on there? Oh, sorry.
Now, one of the comments that I appreciated the most was actually from a man who had been raised as a Christian and later walked away. Brandon wrote, "I was raised in a Christian home, Pentecostal at that, and my parents did everything right. And I'm an atheist, and I chose that path for myself based on my own education and life experiences. My decisions had nothing to do with how I was raised, my parents, their home, or any of the church folks I was raised around." He went on to say, "Life is complex, and every situation has its nuance. Those of you who are blaming the parents or blaming the church are being too short-sighted, and you don't have full understanding. I will always defend my parents for the way they raised my sister and I will always defend the church where I grew up for giving us a solid foundation. Sometimes people just walk away from it."
For myself, I couldn't endorse or defend religion. Now, I was brought up going to church, and I do not and would not defend the church or my mom for taking me to church. Now, she didn't know that it was not true. She believed it was true. So, in a sense, it's not her fault or anything like that. The community that the church has can be very good. We can make that sort of community without lying to each other about things. We could come together, we could sing music and tell stories and laugh and such without the need of religion. And I think that doing that secular gathering would be far better than the lies that we tell each other in religion. So I don't know why this particular individual is defending the church or saying that they gave him a solid foundation. I would speculate he probably means the community, because how could you possibly call lies a solid foundation? Because the rest of religion is just lies. It's nonsense. There are no miracles. There's no angels. There's no demons. There's no devils. There's no heaven. There's no hell. And there's no Yahweh. So why would you defend any of that? Why would you defend the Bible? Why, I don't see that. But he walked away. Yeah, people walk away because it's not true. It's not real. It's not based on anything. That's why you walk away. But there's other reasons you could walk away. I don't know that I'm going to care why somebody walks away. I'd rather that they walk away for intellectual reasons over emotional reasons. But at the end of the day, as long as they walk away, I consider that a good thing. Because you should walk away from this. Because LOLWUT is not a perfect city.
Wow. So parents, take whatever comfort you can in what he said. You can do everything right and still see your children walk away. Are you one of these parents who have found yourself in this situation? If you are, please type yes in the comments section below. While this video is primarily about those who became atheists, let's not forget the thousands of young people who walk away but still believe in God.
But they believe in a different God, so they're gonna go to hell anyways. Ah!
It's epidemic in the world today. Not just in the United States, but Canada, the UK, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and many other places. I really do believe there is something that has been unleashed on today's younger generations, the millennials, and especially Generation Z, that is unprecedented in human history.
Yeah, I think it's the internet. I think that's what is helping a lot of people walk away from nonsense, is the fact that we have infinite amounts of information at our disposal, and we can look up things and go, well, that's bullshit. I'm not going to believe in that anymore. But I find the imagery that you chose to be hilarious. Oh, I want to go over this imagery because it's just so funny. So this is the Owl House, which it's a cartoon about magic and witches, and there's demons and such in it, and it's just for fun. It's just, it's harmless fantasy. But demons! Oh no! Oh my goodness! Oh. Don't watch it. If you just don't watch it. There you go. There's the solution. So Long Beach Public Library, as part of LGBT History Month, decided to invite a drag queen to come and read to children. And the drag queen decided to put this thing on their head. I don't know why. So that's what this picture is from. I'm not going to comment any more on this because I'm afraid that the thing on their head will come to life and kill me. And lo and behold, this product is not real. It's completely and utterly fake. It's a meme that someone created to get attention. It's not a real product. A search on Google will reveal this is not real. This is complete and utter fabrication. This particular image comes from Cape Town Fish Market, who created this for an ad, saying, who knows what the babysitter's up to? That's why we have a kids menu, Cape Town Fish Market. So it's, I guess, an interesting choice for a campaign ad. It's trying to be kind of a meme. It's something that's going to get your attention, But again, not real, complete, utter hoax to promote advertiser. And even if this was a kid doing this, the Luigi board doesn't actually have any powers whatsoever, so don't worry about it. This is a stock photo. Not much more to say there, just a stock photo. So yeah, stock photo. So this image comes from a YouTube channel named Stephen Bonds Cars. The name of the video is called Barbies Yoga Challenge Demon Worship for Kids. I'll link to the video in the description. So basically, they found a picture from another crazy video to use as proof that crazy things are going on in real. This image is from one of the many women's marches that occurs from time to time. I think that if you're going to do any protest or any march, that you need a clear message and then you need a leader that is well spoken. I think you need to do it peacefully, with love, and with honesty. And I just don't see that happening for many of these protests and marches that take place every now and again. I don't see a clear, coherent message from the Women's March. What is it about? Well, it's about women. Okay, that's kind of vague, and the one sign here doesn't really tell you what their message is. My voice, my story, my body. Okay, so is this about your right to abortion? Is that what this march is about? Is it about being that you don't feel like you're being heard? Or what is this about? And so without that clear, coherent message, I don't know that this or other protests like it really get anything accomplished. People go, hey, that's interesting. And if you even ask the people at the march what it's about, it doesn't seem like they even really know what it's about. So I think if you want to get things changed, copy what Martin Luther King Jr. did as far as how he did the protest stuff, and have a clear, coherent message. But as far as this being anything for kids or something that's going to mess with kids, it could be. Certainly indoctrination is not unique to religion. So if this is part of some ideology that's political in nature and you're telling kids things that are not true in order to make them want to engage in this, then you are doing a disservice to those children. You should base things on fact and perhaps leave kids out of politics and tell them about it, sure, but make sure that you give them all the sides that there are to the situation so that they can make their own informed decision rather than bringing them up in any given ideology. That would be the only potential harm to kids that I could see coming from anything like this.
It's a conglomeration of the internet, social media, our educational systems, media and entertainment, political correctness, and humanistic cultural beliefs that have become increasingly anti-God in their influence. There's not just one thing, but many things bombarding our kids from the time they're born, going throughout their whole lives.
Yeah, you gotta keep kids safe from all that information out there, because it's just gonna show that their religion is one of many, that it's not based on reality, and that it's all made up. So please protect your kids from reality. That's the only way to make sure that they stay in the faith in the end, is indoctrinate, and isolate and bubble them and protect them from all the craziness outside. Of course, God could just, again, show up and tell the kid that they exist, but why would a God that wants a relationship with us humans bother to ever show up in any way, shape, or form, or even perform some miracles from time to time? I've heard Christians say that they saw or experienced a thing that they thought was a miracle. So clearly God isn't doing as many miracles in these kids that are leaving the faith life as he is in other people's lives. So maybe God just doesn't want them to follow him anymore and needs them to burn in hell forever because of reasons.
The Christian research company named Barna Group recently did some deep research on Generation Z that was very eye-opening. I've linked the book below if you're interested in getting a copy of it for yourself.
Or you could go to the completely free Pew Research site and do some research about what research that they're doing in regards to who is or isn't losing faith in what groups and ages and demographics that people belong to. So don't buy that book. Go look up the information that you can easily find for free online.
13% of 13 to 18-year-olds today are twice as likely as adults to say they are atheists. Another research group says 20% of Americans ages 18 to 25 report not believing in God.
And that's really encouraging, but I think we can get those numbers higher. So help me and us to get more people to not believe in God by sharing this video and liking and commenting and belling and sharing it on Twitter and telling people about it. Yeah. But seriously, we all need to do whatever it is we can to kill religion dead, because it's lies. So this is part one, maybe, of this. I mean, I don't know if I'll do a part two on this. I might. I don't know. It depends how I feel. Let me know, I guess, if you want part two, and I might do it. I might not, man, this music's getting really loud. It's getting hard to hear me.